welcome to Volume 3 of Jet Parts Incorporated's Parts Education Series that we're starting on social media. Today we're going to discuss supplemental bills or additional bills. So many people are very sensitive to this subject, but I want to go over why they happen and how to avoid them. So as we had in our first series, of course you have list price at the OEM, which is stated as no supplemental bills unless BER. The critical piece here is that finance experts will look across the repair pricing for, let's just say, hundreds of, even thousands of repairs over the course of years. And what they do in order to get a flat rate, no supplemental bill, is to bring your price way up here to mitigate the risk of getting a part that may come in higher than others. And sometimes they have flat rate agreements, as do other companies. Then you have Jet Parts Incorporated's price. We try to base our exchange price on real-time repair, just like they do. But our competitive advantage, of course, is saving you money, providing value. And so we typically would be in this range here. And then here with the market, this is where I want to get into supplemental billing. When you buy a part exchange along this line, this price is based on the cleanest possible repair or the cleanest possible overhaul. And this has a very high probability of an additional bill and supplemental billing. So when you're buying parts down along this bottom line, you're taking a gamble and basically stating that you believe your core is clean. And some of the reasons why this happens is, first of all, some companies will lowball intentionally the exchange price because they can get their purchase order, and then later, if your repair comes in higher, they will additionally bill you to make their margin. Another one is an unintentional lowball, which is basically some parts companies parting out airplanes and others have older tags 5, 10, 15 years ago. And what happens is when that repair comes in today's price, they're upside down on the exchange. So they have to additionally bill you more. And then you also have catastrophic failures, FOD damage, which of course is a hard failure. And that needs to be communicated to the parts company up front as to the condition of the part. We try to ask our clients, what's wrong with the part? Why are you changing it? And a lot of times buyers make the mistake of thinking, well, I just need a price. I just want to know the price. There's so many variables that go into our industry, and being educated and understanding that your part has had a hard failure can give us as parts people an idea as to what we need to be quoting you, because that needs to fluctuate. That means you could be up here or potentially even be BER. So that's some of the reasons why you run into supplemental billing, is because you're buying along a low line and you're gambling. So it depends on what type of client you want to be. Sometimes people say, well, I want to look for value and I want to try to aim a little bit higher so I don't see a supplemental bill. And then of course you have the OEM, which is priced way up here so that they can not supplemental bill you, but every once in a while then it turns into a BER if that repair price exceeds their exchange price. Then they can potentially come back for BER pricing, which is much higher off the board. So ways to avoid supplemental bills is, of course, communicate the condition of your core. It's so important to let us know why you're changing it. Is it TBO? Is it a hard failure? Is there FOD? Did you hear something, a sheared shaft in a starter generator kind of thing, or an ECU that had a bearing failure? Also, doing repair and overhaul research. I tell customers, get out in the market and look at what a real-time now repair and overhaul cost is. And when you have a company that's repair shop is quoting an overhaul or repair at $4,500, and then you call around to their parts sales department and they tell you an exchange is $3,500, you can bet you're going to see a supplemental bill. And then lastly, history of additional bills. I've taught my team that a lot of them will shop around for parts and go, hey Danny, I got this price, it's lower than everybody else, let's go with this. And they forget that that vendor has additionally billed them almost every time they've bought a part, which means they're buying at the bottom line market price. And so that's where it's a little bit dangerous. So you as a customer have to do your homework. You have to communicate to the parts vendor as to what's wrong with your core. And there's ways to avoid supplemental bills. And we're trying to find, that perfect place, which it's so hard to find because, again, every exchange is different. So on the next series, we're going to discuss warranties and getting into the mathematics of how people are able to offer 2-year warranties, sometimes 3-year warranties. you feel like you're getting an extra warranty, but you're actually paying for it. So we look forward to having you in our next series, and thank you so much for tuning in.